Are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify?
From some other species from another planet.
What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined.
There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
This camera is gonna capture it.
All right, fam, that is not the moon.
Moving at extreme speed.
What is that thing?
It is so cold outside. Like, my dog doesn't even want to go outside. Is it cold out there? Beautiful blue skies here in New Jersey, but it's cold. Boy, I look rough. Yeah. So most of the people that have been documenting these drones, or they're calling them drones, I'm calling them UAPs because that's what they are. We don't know what they are. So how can they know that they're drones? Because maybe they are sounding like drones. I mean, I've never seen a drone like this in my life, especially one that can have so much range for several hours at a time. I mean, unless these things are solar powered, they have to be receiving some sort of fuel to be in the skies for as long as they are. I was just watching a video this morning of a pilot witnessing one of these things out in Oregon.
We're seeing 3 or 4 targets. Yeah, they're all altitudes, up and down. It's pretty crazy.
We're not seeing anything. Getting lots of different reports out there. Some at 30, some all the way up to 50,000. About 3 or 4 different lights. Does it look like they're around your altitude now?
No, there's one way up high and one about my altitude. Moving in like a circle, like a corkscrew pattern. Just had another one show up about my 1 o'clock, about 1,000 feet high, zipping towards us and then back out towards the ocean. It's red in color, moving at extreme speed.
Roger. You are cleared to maneuver as necessary, left and right, to avoid the UFO out there.
So a lot of people that have been coming up with this footage of these UAPs or drones, most of them are using their phones, and I mean, I don't blame them. That's like the best camera that you can possibly use right now. The camera that I brought with me, and this is the camera that I use a lot in like my casino videos. I use them even on my like ghost hunting videos. It's the DJI Pocket 3. This does not have a zoom on it though. It has very stable footage. It's good in the dark, but it is not good for zoom. I do have like a $4,000 full frame sensor camera that is good in low light, like really good. This is good in low light too, if I had a zoom. But the problem with them full frame sensor cameras is you need a very expensive lens to attach to it that can show far away. One thing that I don't understand, and someone did bring a valid point, like in World War II, they had stuff flying in the skies and they shine these super bright beams of light into the sky. We're in 2024. Why won't they shine super bright lights into the sky? I may have the mystery solved when it comes to what this drone situation or UAP situation might be. There's all sorts of theories, and this one is possibly at the top of my list. I may make a separate video just based off of that. I'm here in front of Best Buy. I'm gonna buy a super zoom camera. It's definitely gonna be better and have more of a zoom capability than an iPhone or Android phone. Luna, you're gonna have to stay in here and hold down the mothership. I think Luna's mad at me. I can't bring you into Best Buy though. I don't think they allow dogs. No way, I can bring Luna in here? Slight change of plan. I'm bringing Luna. All right, let's go. I'm actually using a rope for my jet ski because I couldn't find Luna's leash. No doing caca in here, okay? I never brought in a dog to Best Buy. Sorry. Why are you barking? Who's that, Luna? Come on. No. All right, so this is the same drone that I got. Pretty awesome drone, by the way. And look, that's my camera, too. In case you're wondering how much it costs, which I think is a great price for what you get, and it's very compact. So if you like a camera, you got to give them a piece of paper. It kind of reminds me of Toys R Us back in the days. This is all they got at Best Buy. Come on, Best Buy. 16x digital zoom. Oh gosh. These cameras are awful. I don't see anything that's even worth getting, to be honest. That is the coolest monitor I've ever seen. What's that, LG? They have every freaking wireless microphone. I mean, so many microphones for cameras, but they don't have cameras. So see that? 18 to 150 millimeter focal length. 18 is the widest point, 150 is the zoom on it. That's actually pretty decent, but if we're trying to see into the stars, we need something like 600 plus millimeter, and that's like nowhere. That was a ginormous fail. I may not be getting a camera at all. Might have to work with what I got, which is an iPhone and my Pocket 3. None of these have really good zoom. I'm gonna try a couple other Best Buys before it starts getting dark. All right, so I'm at Best Buy number 2. This one looks a little bit more promising because it's a little bit larger. I am so glad that I didn't give up, because most people would be like, I'm not going to another one. I'll just use my iPhone. There's nothing wrong with that. I might use my iPhone here and there, but this is what I'm talking about. Like a bridge camera. This is a Panasonic FC80D, and this has a focal length of 60x times 1200 millimeter focal length. Unlike this one, it's 4K, so it's gonna have even more quality. Just wanna give you the rundown on lenses. This is only a 200 millimeter telephoto. I mean, you're gonna get greater quality, but $1,900. Now look at this one. That's the same thing, but a little bit better glass, $2,800. What the heck? Are you serious? Okay, so this is the camera I have, or one of them that I have, and I paid almost $4,000 for this same camera a year ago. And look, $2,000, and that's just for the camera without any lens. All right, we scored pretty good at that Best Buy. This is a pretty decent camera. It's not something that I would regularly film with. I mean, it's pretty basic. Doesn't even have a flip out screen, but it's got that massive built-in 1200 millimeter lens, and that's what we need to catch these guys. And this is going to be slightly better than anyone's iPhone. Another thing I got to, just in case, is a second drone. I got totally clickbaited though. There was a little sign that said $69, and I ended up paying 200 bucks for this. Still a lot cheaper than my actual drone. I think my drone's like $1,200. If we're dealing with something intelligent that does not like my drone in the air, and it wants to zap my $1,200 drone out of the air, I'd rather it be the $200 one. And plus, this one might have less restrictions for flying because it's more of a toy. Also got an extra SD card. I mean, we are not playing around, folks. Whoa, look at all this traffic. And I think I'm in Randolph. It's in Morris County. This is kind of a hot spot for these drones or UAPs. Check out that place and let them know that Omar sent you. El Pache. If I get to see one of these drones again in person, this camera is gonna capture it, and it's gonna capture it clear. Let me demonstrate. All right, so this is the moon, and that's about as far as I can go with my zoom. I'm using an iPhone 14 Pro, by the way, okay? Now, let me show you what this camera looks like. All right, so this thing is not the best in low light, but there's the same shot of the moon. Now watch this. Whoa, that's insane. All right, yeah. Look how far away we are. Look at this. We're so far away. I see something up there. Oh, dang, look, it's the triangular lights too. All right, there we go. What is that? What is that thing? Oh, it just disappeared. Wait, where'd it go? All right, I caught something. All right, where'd it go? They're doing it again. Oh no, maybe that was an airplane. Yo, my iPhone's like glitching out. What the heck? My iPhone's never done this before. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing about the area that I'm in right now, which makes perfect sense as to why there is a lot of sightings of these drones, quote unquote, it's a mountainous area, and it overlooks, I mean, it doesn't overlook, but it's not far from the water. So, I mean, like right now, my ears are popping. So just to give you an idea, oh, I think I see something in the sky up there. What is that? Okay, that's not an airplane. Okay, I am using my pocket 3 now. And just want to show you where I'm at. I'm at this field right here. We aren't far from Morristown. There's Morristown right there. And there's Staten Island. This is where I'm staying. I'm staying over here somewhere, right across from Manhattan. I mean, you got everything here. Figured this be a great place to kind of hide out and see if we can observe the skies there. But I am doing some driving around and observing everything. Right now I'm just kind of stationary looking at the skies, and this would be probably a good place to look too in Morristown because it's very dark here and the sky's pretty clear. I'm on X right now, just kind of looking at videos that people have posted, and this thing is like shooting. Chris from Massachusetts shared this. As shared by a resident in Montville, New Jersey, how can the government say there is nothing to see here, yet it appears that this object is shooting at something on the ground? Is that a helicopter? Like a military helicopter shooting? Maybe it's shooting at these drones? Now this is one that a lot of you have probably seen. It's like a time lapse of these UAPs or drones.
Look at that. Look at that.
That's pretty weird.
He is spraying the sky again. Bro, this is f***ing crazy, man.
Okay, so this is something that I saw on my friend Casper Sight's channel. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. Let him know that Omar sent you.
They're spraying the skies.
He was sharing this very same video that just came out today. And it's this drone spraying something. It looks like it's dropping some sort of that, or maybe it's coming up from the water, and that's like water that's coming up from the...
Look, he just sprayed that.
The object, this UFO. Now this is somebody on an airplane sharing one of these drones like up close. Now first of all, if you've ever been on an airplane before, if you've ever seen another airplane, it's very far away. They don't fly anywhere close to each other. Like, why is this flying object or whatever it is? I mean, if it was one of ours, it would not be flying that close to a commercial airline. So I went ahead and left that area because yes, it was dark there and I was up on the mountain. However, there was a lot of trees that were surrounding me, and every time I saw something or I tried to point my camera at it, it would disappear. And I'm thinking maybe it's disappearing because I'm running into the trees after, but I don't know, it's just kind of weird. It just goes completely dark. I don't know if it's me with the camera, but I'm trying to find somewhere in this actual area that's open and there's not a lot of trees. And that's pretty hard to find right now. I don't know if that's a helicopter. Gosh, of course I gotta be driving when I'm seeing these things. Wish I had somebody to drive with me. Oh wow, I see something else. See, I'm trying to distinguish the difference between like airplanes and helicopters and these things. And so far, like what I've seen is a little bit closer to the ground. And then I've seen things that are really, really, really far away that are just hovering. And I have seen that. That's one right there. It almost looks like a star. Found a really good place over a lake. And we're in Morristown still. Freezing cold outside, by the way. Luna needed to go to the bathroom. All right, this is a really good area to see these UAPs. And I ain't gonna lie, I see a lot flying around, but it's hard to tell what's what. I mean, everything could be an airplane. I mean, who knows? I'm just keeping an eye on things that are a little out of place. But if these things aren't from this world, who knows if they've already figured it out that we're onto them and they're completely disguised now as airplanes. I mean, only the government's going to know at that point because their radar is not going to be picking it up. Oh, that's a beautiful area over there. All right, I did bring my super zoom camera. Just a second ago, I saw like maybe 5 or 6 things flying over us. But I'm pretty sure they're all airplanes, like from what I'm seeing. I'm looking for low flying aircraft like I saw earlier. All right, I hear geese like freaking out over here. All right. Not sure if that's an airplane or not.
Zoom in a little bit more. This is actually a little closer to the ground. Oh wow, it just disappeared. Just like that. Something over there too, but I think that's a star. That one's just stationary. Oh, that is that. Wait, what is that? All right, fam, that is not the moon. Not the moon. All right, so there's the moon right there. Whatever this is in the distance.
All right, fam, so I was zoomed in to whatever this is earlier with my camera that has a little bit more range on it, and it just started moving. And now it's actually moving. That looks literally just like a ball. That doesn't even look like an airplane. What the heck? Looks like a star just moving. Like, is that a satellite? Okay, just to give you an idea, like that is an airplane. Okay, I believe it's an airplane. Okay, I'm not 100% that what we were looking at was UAPs. I still think our best bet is to go by the ocean, because supposedly these things are coming in and out of the ocean. Listen to this. And supposedly this was an officer. He said that he saw 50 drones coming off the ocean.
Is this some contagious mass hysteria? Or are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify? Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you
People are
saw.
seeing things. I'm seeing things.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
This was filmed just a few hours ago.
2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
Wait, that looks like an airplane.
But what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking, seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department.
Look at that drone.
They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
Wow, that thing has a thermal camera on it.
I mean, you know, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Wow. Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Could you imagine a police officer dialing 911?
50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat, and they reported seeing 13 following their boat, and then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here.
Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow.
In more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either. What's your message to the White House?
My message: come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, you know, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
You know, the Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air.
That's like what happened to us.
If this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need...
Like every time I try to zoom into it, it like disappears. Did it in broad daylight too. James shared this with me, and it seems pretty interesting. So check this out. This was from an anonymous person. but it says drone mystery solved. The FAA Reauthorization Act of 2018 expires on December 20th of this year. So the federal government is literally using a terrorism, I don't know how to say that word, against you to manipulate Congress into passing the new HR 8610 Counter UAS Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act of 2024, which will include appropriations of enhanced government powers to control you. And they're even going so far as to use it to push for acts of war against other countries. There's many organizations. You got the FAA, you got the FBI, you got the CIA. I mean, so many different organizations within the government. What if there's a certain government that is doing this, aka the FAA, and they're wanting to push this to pass certain acts? I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm having an open mind when it comes to this, and I'm not ruling out aliens either. You could call me crazy, tinfoil hat guy, but hear me out on this. And I was watching my boy Casper site. He released a video today. He's been releasing videos just about every day on these New Jersey drone things. So he was mentioning in his video earlier today, let's just say you and I had the technology to go visit other planets, which we kind of do, but I'm talking about, like, you know, far beyond our solar system. And once we reach those planets with life, we had also the technology to kind of blend in with theirs. I mean, we're going to kind of freak them out if we show off our ships. Like, what if their ships are way different? Marty McFly in Back to the Future, when he goes back to the past, he doesn't go back to the past in his, like, future wear. He's going back dressed as somebody from that time. Why? Because he would stand out like a sore thumb. He wouldn't fit in. Perhaps that's what's going on here, is you have this life visiting us, and they're kind of letting us know that we're here. I mean, since the 1930s, there have been sightings, and I mean, people just been calling it fairy tales. Here's the thing, whether or not it's another country, or if it's aliens or whatever it is, if they wanted to harm us, I believe they would have already. All right, as I'm talking, there's something in the air, of course. That's flying pretty low. That's not an airplane. Another theory that I have is Project Bluebeam. And if you don't know what that is, you know what? I'm going to play a little video for you. My boy James sent this to me. The name of this video is called New Information, What the Media Isn't Telling You About Project Bluebeam.
I'm sure you've all heard about Project Bluebeam. If you look it up online, Wikipedia will tell you it's a conspiracy theory that was popularized by Serge Monast in the 90s. Most newspapers will tell you it's the most dangerous conspiracy theory ever. But what exactly is it? Well, in essence, it's a project run by globalists who plan on conducting a massive false flag operation. This false flag operation will involve a fake alien invasion that will help these globalists establish a new world order. Now, I know some of you might be skeptical of how someone can just fake an alien invasion. Well, my friends, here I would like you to go back and watch this video where I show you how the CIA was ready to conduct such a false flag operation all the way back in the 1960s. And in the last 6 decades since then, we've taken some huge technological leaps, which means creating alien simulations is no longer a pipe dream. Now, even though most online sources credit Serge Monast for Project Bluebeam, I believe the first guy to bring attention to this scary theory was none other than our former president, Ronald Reagan. While the liberal media makes fun of him for talking about alien...
Here's the thing about these presidents, like, they are informed about things that we aren't, or that we have knowledge about.
Same thing on 3 different occasions.
I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet.
Why would he say that?
Outside in the universe.
Why would he say
We'd
that?
forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together.
Maybe that's why.
Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us we can bring about that realization. In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity.
It is a completely different
Perhaps
occasion.
we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound.
What?
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien
President
threat
Reagan knew something.
from outside this world.
He knew something.
And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
One world government, maybe?
But I've often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by a power from outer space, from another
He said
planet?
it again. This is a completely different time.
Wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have
Good
any
video
differences
by
between us
Hustle-
at all?
Hustle
We were
Biatch.
all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular threat?
Now, the question is, why would he try to give us hints about the actions of a shadow organization? Well, it's because President Ronald Reagan was always at odds with the deep state. In a lot of ways, he was like Donald Trump. He won with overwhelming support, was extremely popular, and didn't care much about the
there was
standard
an
political
assassination
norms.
attempt on him,
He
too.
also nearly lost his life
Oh, there he is,
because
right
of his
there.
policies. Now, why do I think that these drones are not alien crafts? Well, the answer is actually kind of simple. If you analyze any of these videos, it becomes clear that these flying objects loosely resemble drones used by our military and other three-letter
never
agencies.
seen one like that.
I mean, just look at this super viral clip.
That looks so weird.
We shouldn't be outside for this.
I think we can safely say it's a drone that looks like a plane. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that these are ordinary drones. Most witness testimonies confirm that these are some of the most sophisticated flying objects we have ever seen.
A friend of mine on here that lives in New Jersey last night, which let's to keep in mind is December 7th, saw 3 very large drones sitting above his home. And when he decided to use his drone to get a closer look, something really weird happened. As he flew his drone up towards these other 3 drones, he stated that these drones made absolutely no noise. But then he stated that when his drone got closer, that his drone was taken offline, with what he stated seemed to be some kind of EMP. But this is where it gets weird. His drone fell straight from the sky, and as far as I know,
EMP's electromagnetic pulse.
on that drone. He described these drones as being as big as a car and having one large blinking light on them. But the craziest part about it is the fact that he released a video of them hovering above his house prior to releasing his drone to go up to get a closer look, right? And now his account has actually ended up being banned. Do keep in mind he had 89,000 followers. And some of you probably saw that video.
And even when observed with powerful radars, these drones seem to have an energy shield surrounding them.
Whoa.
Check this thing out.
Yo.
Anytime.
Okay, when I zoomed into this bright light, that's what it looked like. It looked just like that.
This is what I get. It has a round, like, shield.
It looks
around
like
it.
some sort of, like, shield.
Now,
I thought it was the moon, but it wasn't.
Do you think the American Armed Forces and our dozens of agencies will ever let this incursion continue without ever shooting one of these drones down? Of course not.
Okay, so here, check this out. And this is probably one of the reasons why they're not shooting them out of the ground. Okay, first of all, if it was Project Bluebeam, if it was some sort of fake projection, there's nothing to shoot. People here in New Jersey, from what I hear locally, they're ready to start shooting these things down themselves. It's been all over the news. But here's the thing. We're in one of those states, just like New York, just like some other places like California, where there's not really a whole lot of Americans. I mean, there are, but not like where I'm from. In Florida, everybody's got guns. Don't ever break into somebody's house in Florida because you will find out the hard way. In New York, for you to have a concealed weapons permit, you have to go through this process of letting the government know that you should have it and why you should have it. Maybe because you're a jewelry store owner or maybe you're some sort of celebrity that fears for your life. It has to be, you can't just go to the store and, you know, because you've never committed a felony, get a gun. So what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, there's people out here with guns, but I mean, first of all, if you're wanting to shoot one of these things down, you're going to need to have like, I mean, something with some range on it. You can't just shoot up in the air like that too. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Before we conclude this video, we're going to go out to the ocean and see if we could see anything else flying around. I'm going to be covering this for the next couple of days. Make sure you have subscription notifications on so you don't miss a video. It's definitely a fun series that I'm adding to my channel. I am so hyped for this. I mean, just because of the mysteriousness behind it, not knowing, and of course wanting to get answers. Like I myself, being all the way from Florida, like I want answers myself. And I feel like being here is getting me close to those answers that I seek. And when I find something out, you're gonna find something out. All right, so I figured out a way to completely eliminate the possibility of confusing these things for an airplane or a helicopter or whatever else. I don't know if they have this for Android, but they do have it for iPhone. And this is my location. This is exactly where I'm at right now. And somewhere, okay, back that way, you can see there is an airplane, a couple airplanes flying. Actually, it only shows one here. So maybe one of those is a drone. Not sure exactly what it is, but my app is showing me in real time that there are 2 airplanes in those skies, and I only see one on this app. Now, if you click on this, it tells you exactly what it is. That's a Brady Noble. Never heard of that. But it's going from Tampa to LaGuardia Airport in New York. So look at all these airplanes. Okay, maybe it's that one that we were seeing. Yeah, there is one coming a little closer to us, which is right there. Let me see if I could turn. Oh, actually, there's 2 of them. Oops. See, there's 2 airplanes right there, and you could see them exactly on the app, moving exactly the way they should. They just crossed over, just like so. So next time I see something in the air that's questionable, I'm gonna pull up this app, and I'm gonna see exactly what it is. There's a lot of stuff happening in our skies, okay? So of course, you might see something and be like, an airplane, is it a drone? If you see something, look, there's 2 things that way. One's moving pretty fast, going to the right. You know what? And I don't know why people are calling these things drones. How do they know? If they don't know what these things are, how do they know exactly that they're unmanned? We do know that there's drones that exist, or, you know, quadcopters, if you will, that are manned, and they are starting to little by little come out. I've seen them on TikTok. I've seen them on Instagram, here on YouTube. I've seen them. We can't really call them a drone. These things are 100% UFOs, or like people have said, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Why? Because we don't know what they are. Okay, so I had to stay here kind of a hot minute charging my truck. While I was here, like a bunch, I mean a bunch of police officers, was it Hazlitt Police? They pull up to this Wawa, and maybe I should go in there and get a cup of coffee because they're all hanging out in there by the coffee. Young guys, really cool, very professional, you know, they're just enjoying their night. I'm gonna ask them, I'm like, hey, I got a YouTube channel, can I interview y'all? Actually, before I asked that question though, I was like, hey, y'all seeing any drones out there? And they all looked at each other and they were like, oh my God. Like the overwhelming look on their face after I asked them this question was, I wish I would have recorded it, because they were like, man, we've been getting calls all the time. We're investigating them. We've been seeing them everywhere. One of the deputies even went as far as saying people are going to start shooting them down soon. And then of course, another one chimed in and he was like, I think it's our government. But I asked him, I was like, hey, can I get y'all on an interview? And they were just like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'll do an interview. But then they kind of looked at each other and were like, better not. And then the guy was like, oh, I totally would, but you know, I don't want my chief getting mad at me or whatnot. But then he was like, look, but I will tell you, because I know that you're doing a video or whatever, if you want to get a good view of these things, use the Flight Tracker app, which is the same app that I was telling you about a little bit ago. That way you can't confuse between the two. And that's what they're using. That's what the police are using to make sure these things are what they are, or what, you know, make sure they're not confused with an airplane or some other kind of aircraft. But he mentioned Ocean County. That's the video that I was showing you earlier. And there's cops seeing these things going into the ocean. There was 50 of them today reported. Oh my God, it's so cold out here. So it is midnight. I'm right by the ocean. There's the ocean right behind me. And I got a tip from one of the police officers that this is where they got some reports tonight. That's New York City. I believe to the left over there is Staten Island. Oh, poor Luna. I'm probably torturing her right now. Oh, my hands are so cold. So unfortunately, I don't see anything flying at all. Like, not even any airplanes. I don't think very many airplanes are flying anyways at midnight. I'm thinking that's probably why these UAPs are flying during certain hours. It's usually between 5 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And it's probably because most flights are grounded after that. You know, if they fly during those hours, they kind of blend in with all the air traffic. Not seeing an airplane. Oh yeah, I do see it. It's right over there. Oh my gosh, I just saw a shooting star. Make a wish, make a wish. Well, supposedly there's meteor showers tonight. And it makes sense because I saw a meteor yesterday right on the New Jersey Turnpike at approximately 9:25 p.m. Actually, I see, oh, right there. I saw another one. Oh my gosh. I mean, are they meteors? But yeah, I'm not really seeing any low flying drones. I am going to keep my eye open for anything weird flying low. I am going to spend a couple days here in New Jersey bringing y'all any sort of news that I come across by locals. So if you happen to be in the New Jersey, New York area, or, you know, tri-state area, and you're seeing these things, I mean, it looks like they're spreading out. You got some really good footage. Maybe you're seeing these things constantly wherever you're at. Let me know. I'll come to you. I'd love to interview you. Just shoot me an email, theomargosh@gmail.com. So I'm going to get back in my warm truck because I can't even feel my fingers right now. And if I see something, I will let you know. Got to go for now before we leave. Give me a kiss. Peace.